Welcome to a session I'm calling Morning Stretch. You can do this on its own just to wake up and revitalize your body and mind, or of course you can attach it to another workout either before or after. It's quite versatile. We're going to start lying down on our back, just stretching out those arms and legs, and breathing in. Take some deeper breaths. On the exhale, reach longer. Pull some stretch, some length through the body, through the spine. And reaching one leg longer than the other, and then switch, switch. Feel the pelvis rocking, hiking one hip up, then the other. And next inhale, let's lower the arms down by the side. And let's bring one knee in. Hug it into the chest. Take a breath. And let's stretch it up. Straightening that leg. You can hold on to the hamstring or you can reach up to the calf. Or if you have a strap, you can wrap it around the foot. Let's point and flex that foot. If this feels too intense, you can bend the bottom knee. Alleviate any strain through the hips and back. Just introducing some movement, some motion into the body. Or if bottom leg is bent, we're going to straighten it out, bending that top knee. Let's cross it over the body, opening up that same side arm in the opposite direction. Let's breathe into this twist. Let's inhale and feel some expansion across the rib cage. And slowly on your next inhale, let's travel back to the center. Keeping the bent knee bent, we're going to draw it in and just open it externally. Bring that bottom foot to connect to the top foot, holding the ankles or the feet. Reach the tailbone long. Find and listen to that breath. You feel like rocking this out side to side. You can add that motion. And let's switch legs. Let's bring in that second knee into the chest. Stretching the opposite leg nice and long. We're going to hug the top knee in. If it bothers your knee at all, you have a sensitive knee, you can always hold under the leg for some knee support. Next inhale, let's extend the top leg as we start doing some footwork, some flexing and pointing. A little bit more flexing, a little bit more pointing. Option to bend the bottom knee. And we'll bend that top knee in again. Extend the bottom leg if it's not already. And let's start to cross this top knee over the body. Same side arm reaching in the opposite direction. So this foot can just rest on the bottom leg or it can rest to the floor, to a pillow. I like to just bring the hands onto the ribs as I inhale. Feel some expansion in the trunk of the body. Exhale the air out. Breathing into the twist. We'll come out slowly, rolling back to the center. And we'll switch the rotation of this top leg, external rotation. So knee out, and that bottom foot is going to connect to the top sole of the foot, holding the feet, the ankles, the lower legs, whatever feels accessible. Inhale and let your low back settle into the ground. If you like to add that rocking motion side to side, you can do that. Or stay nice and still. One more breath. And let's stretch out those legs, give them a little shake, 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 shake. We're going to continue with the inner thigh and hamstring stretch. We're going to move on to our side. So let's bend both knees to start. And we're going to find the top leg, either the calf, the ankle, or the bottom of the foot. Now, if you have your bottom leg bent, you're going to have more support. If you extend the bottom leg, you're going to have to balance a little bit more. So you choose where you're at. And you can even extend that bottom arm and just rest the head on top. And every exhale, and draw that top leg a little closer. Feeling the stretch through the back of the leg, the calf, the hamstring, the inner thigh, the groin. And I'm going to prop the head up for this next one, bending the top leg and just finding the top of the foot. And if you find your knee is really lifted high, you might be a little tight in your outer hip here. So you're going to drop that knee low. Point the kneecap long. Stay for a breath. You might feel a nice stretch across the shoulder and chest as the foot presses into the palm. Let's inhale. And exhale. Great, let's do side number 2. I'm just going to roll over the other side and extend the top leg up. You can always use a towel or a band around the foot. You can play around with the bottom leg being bent or straight. You can rest the head on that bottom arm. Flex the top foot a little bit more and get into the calf, back of the ankle. Big inhale, and as you exhale, you can see if there's any range of motion for you to draw that foot closer towards you. And releasing the top leg to bend the knee, we'll find the top of the foot, dropping that top knee down, reaching it out, nice and long. Breathe in and feel the stretch across the hips and knee, front of the leg, maybe even in the abdomen. You might even feel the front of the shoulder and chest as that foot presses into the hand. Okay, let's release that stretch and roll right onto our front body here. Stacking the hands, resting the forehead, bending the knees, and just letting the legs sway side to side. We're going to extend one arm open to the side and let both legs drop over to that side like you're leaning. Reach the arm away even farther. Feel a stretch across the chest, through the low back. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring the legs through the center. And try the other arm. Reach it out to the side. You're going to look away from that reaching arm and just let the legs drop over to that same side. Feet are heavy, knees are heavy. I'm just pressing down a little bit with that opposite arm, reaching that extended arm farther away. Breathing in. You can also rest the head on top of the hand if you prefer. This is a bit of an awkward shape for the body, so you can feel it throughout the hips and back, or the knees and legs, or through the shoulder and the chest. One more breath here, and then let's slowly move the legs back to the center. Extend the legs straight. Bring the palms into the mat. And let's try lifting, peeling the upper body away from the ground, using some arm strength to generate a stretch in the abdomen, front of the hips. Let's look up and stretch through the neck. Let's shrug the shoulders and then de-shrug. Breathe. Lowering all the way down. Stay for that inhale. And exhale, press yourself up into hands and knees. Exhale and round the back. Stay here. Keep your spine rounded. Tuck your tailbone under. Push the floor away with a little bit more gusto. And then just bring one ear to the same side shoulder and the other. Let the head sway, ear to shoulder, rounded spine. Breath in, breath out. Back to the center. Let's arch the back, looking up. Lift the chin. Bring ear to the shoulder. And up and over to the other shoulder. Small little move. Keep breathing. Back to center. Drop the head and round. Exhale, exhale, and exhale. Inhale, arch. And let's sit back to those heels. Reach the fingertips long. Keep the hips heavy. Walk the arms over to one side. Drop forehead. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Exhale and soften the shoulders. And take that over to the other side. Each exhale allows you to relax further into the stretch. And bring it back to the middle. Inhale to come up into plank. Extend the legs back behind you. And exhale, pop the hips high into downward dog. Push the arms longer. Bend one knee and sink the opposite heel down and breathe in. Let's switch the legs. Keep the breath. And both legs straight. Inhale, look forward and bring the shoulders on top of the hands into that plank. Drop the knees, uncurl the toes, and move the hips forward through the plank into that abdominal stretch. Hip extension, chin high. Next stretch. Bring your bottom teeth in front of the top teeth. Shrug the shoulders, de-shrug. Look forward and start at the belly button, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. Curl the toes, brief plank, and one final downward dog. Walking the feet closer just to anchor those heels down. Get grounded in the heels. Feel the tailbone long. Fingertips press. One more breath. Walk the hands back to the feet. Forward bend and bend the knees. Shake out the head slowly and gently. And take your time, rolling all the way up through the spine. Coming into standing. And have a wonderful rest of your day.